Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here for a recap of what has been a wild weekend for watching some racing. And there was a couple good races in there, some wild finishes, and just overall super fun. So today we're talking about the 3 NASCAR races that happened at Darlington. And we're also going to talk about F1 and the Italian Grand Prix and how wild that was. So, first of all, we'll start with the Xfinity Series race yesterday. That really was kind of interesting. I mean, I like seeing the throwback cars. That was really fun for all 3 Darlington races, having some throwback cars. The Xfinity Series race really didn't have that much going on until we got towards the very end. Denny Hamlin unfortunately came in and won the stage, which, you know, seeing a Cup driver win the stages in the lower series, I think is kind of lame. I think they should award points to the drivers that can earn them. So if you finish second on the stage, but you're the first Xfinity driver, you should get the playoff point. I feel that's a better way to go around it, but whatever. So Denny Hamlin won the first 2 stages, and then from there it was just kind of, you know, a little bit lame. Not much happened really. But then we get to the last, I don't really know, was it 10, 15 laps, something like that. It was a good battle for the lead. Ross Chastain was in the lead, Denny Hamlin was back in second, and they were battling. And Chastain just kept the lead, and Hamlin was trying to pass him, and ultimately with 2 laps to go, we saw Denny Hamlin go for a slide job. He went down, slid up. Ross Chastain hit into him, and they both were damaged. So Brendan Jones came through, got the win, which was quite impressive. It was kind of a wild race. I really liked the ending. I think that was a really good NASCAR race ending. So big fan of that finish, and I think that overall that was a very good race, and the race went by pretty quickly as well, which is nice to see for the lower series. That's why they're fun to watch too. But speaking of lower series, let's go and talk about the truck race for a minute. Truck race didn't really have much happening at all. We saw sort of Sheldon Creed and Brett Moffitt kind of dominate the whole race. I think they each won a stage, pretty sure. But they were going back and forth, and in the end, late caution, a bunch from inside the pit. Sheldon Creed, one of them, and he was speeding on pit road, and that really hurt him. And then we got to the end of it, and Ben Rhodes got the win. And I forgot who was in second. I don't know. Some guy. He had a Napa truck. I know that. Forgot his name. I don't remember the names of the drivers in the lower series much. But it was a good battle in the last 2 laps there again. The choose rule's been very interesting, seeing how that's implemented. So, yeah, we saw Ben Rhodes get the win there. All right, so now we got that out of the way. Let's jump over to some racing in Europe. Let's go talk about this F1 race. So, I got up this morning with the expectation of Lewis Hamilton's going to dominate this race, and it's going to be a bit of a boring race. And I was looking at memes on Reddit at like 1 in the morning about that very thing. You know, oh, the race is going to be boring, whatever. So I get up and, you know, turn it on, and I'm like, all right, let's sit down, let's watch Lewis Hamilton dominate, get his 90th win, which I'm sure a lot of people were thinking. And early on, that was very much the case. Hamilton was going to dominate this race and win it all. And he had a big lead, and engine modes, I feel, not a brilliant change. I thought initially it was going to be good. I think that for Red Bull, it was going to bring them closer. That was the plan. And I was like, okay, cool. We can bring Red Bull closer, at least get a fight between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But engine modes have not done that. They have done the opposite, and it's kind of just hurt Red Bull the most. And honestly, it's kind of just made everybody not able to pass as much. I'll have to see how it works next race, but it definitely hurt this race. But then we get to the first real issue. We're about, was it 20 laps in, 25 around that time. And was it Kevin Magnussen, I believe? It was a Haas car. Came around parabolic and went out. There was a problem with his car. And where he pulled over, they couldn't pull the car back behind the barrier. So they had to push it to the pits. So they had the safety car. So after that, we get the restart from the safety car. And at that point, things go wild. Charles Leclerc going around, same corner, a couple laps later. He goes and he loses control of the car. And in between the first safety car and the restart, a bunch of the cars did come in pit, get new tires. So they're all catching up. A couple cars out in the lead, and we're just seeing a bunch of wild things happen here. At this point, when he spins, he crashes into the barrier really hard. It was a very, very that's a wild hit. When I watched it, I was like, oh. So he hit the barriers very, very hard. And from there, we had a couple cars come in and do their stops. We had Hamilton and Antonio Giovinazzi both came in, did their stops. But the pits were closed, so they were going to get a penalty. Ultimately, they said to be red flagged, which was wild because I had never seen a red flag watching F1 since I started watching it last season. So I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting, seeing a red flag here. And it really was. It was definitely wild just to see, what they did. Because watching NASCAR is what I've grown up watching, living in America. When there's a red flag in NASCAR, the cars all just stop on the track. Typically, I mean, if it's for rain, they get out of the cars. But if it's just a crash, they stop on the track forever long, stay in their car. People bring them water. Maybe if it's a real long time, they can get out of the car. But typically, red flags for incidents don't take that long. But that's really it. But in F1, they did a sitting start or a stationary start. So to see that was very wild. They're changing tires and doing all the work on the cars, which you would not be allowed to do in NASCAR. You cannot touch the car. So obviously, besides opening window nets to get the drivers out, but you can't work on your car. You can't change your tires or fix damage. So that was quite interesting. So the red flag, obviously, to repair the damage of the wall. Charles Leclerc went into it very hard. And you just saw when they were trying to pull the car out, it was stuck. So it took a little bit to fix that, but once they got it going, Hamilton had a service penalty. On the launch, you had Lance Stroll there, who was able to change his tires. He still got a free pit stop, which is kind of lame. They didn't have to actually come in and do it. This sort of red flag, you change your tires, whatever. So that was a bit lame, but we saw this happen, and he just couldn't go well, and into the second chicane area, he locks up, goes forward, and loses a couple spots. So Pierre Gasly's in second place at this time behind Lewis Hamilton, who hasn't served his penalty yet, who did. He came in, and ultimately he was out of the race for winning. But I do got to say, that was a wild drive by Hamilton, coming back from being 30 seconds behind, because he had a 10-second penalty, about 22 seconds in the pit. So he was able to, pull out to about a 2-second lead before he had to pit. So getting that gap of about 30 seconds when he came out to Albon was absolutely wild. The fact that he was able to recover to about, 7th? I believe 7th or 8th, something like that. 7th, I think. And with the fastest lap. That was a wild recovery. But yeah, we just had a bunch of wild things like that. But in the end, Pierre Gasly got the win. And that was just absolutely insane to see, an AlphaTauri, McLaren, and a Racing Point on the podium. And to see all these drivers on the podium just for their second time, each won their second podium in their career. It was wild to see a first-time winner, to see the first time since 2013 that a driver not from Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari getting the win. And the first time since 2012 to not have any of those three teams on the podium is just absolutely wild. It's just, it was crazy to see those three teams. And I saw a meme saying when you crash out all the cars or crash out all the top cars in F1 2020, And it really was. You had an AlphaTauri, a McLaren, and a Racing Point, which was just insane. Other drivers that retired from the race. Sebastian Vettel had brake failure, which is wild. He blew through the foam blocks at the first chicane on that long straight. That was wild. Max Verstappen had engine problems, so that's very unfortunate for him. Just to see that. Not a great day for Red Bull trying to recover in the championship. So, bit unfortunate on that. But again, Pierre Gasly getting the win. That was wild. He's been through a lot in the last year and a half. So, yeah, it was good to see him get that win, but not what I expected going into the day. I did not expect to see those teams win. I thought, okay, we're going to see another Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen podium. Cool. But that was absolutely insane. So, wild times. Again, we'll have to see what happens with the engine modes in the next race. I'm very curious about that. If we see cars able to do anything or what, and, can he pass or not? That's going to be a big question. But getting to the last race. And I do want to say, if I did make a mistake with the pit stops, was not entirely sure about who pit under the safety car or not under the second one. Do apologize if I'm wrong on that. It's been a while. It's been over 12 hours since I actually watched the race. I did a bunch of stuff in between them. So, and I watched 2 races since then. So it's been a bit, but I do apologize if I'm wrong on that. But I think I had that correct. So, the final race, the NASCAR Cup Series, the Cookout Southern 500. And that was a very interesting race. I love Throwback Weekend for NASCAR. I think it's such a cool idea. I always like to go and pull out a throwback hat. This year I had a Sterling Marlin hat from, I don't even know when, early 2000s, with the Coors Light on it. Just wore a Kevin Harvick race win shirt from a few years ago, just something that I wouldn't wear now. Just kind of fun, get into the vibe of bringing out your old racing stuff that you don't necessarily wear now. And I really liked it. So, again, Throwback Weekend. So cool just to see so many cars participate. A lot more than we used to have when this started back in 2015. There wasn't as many cars that participated back then. Probably was 15. Now we're up to 30, I think there was in the field. So, not bad that there's, I think, 39 cars in the field and have 30 of them with throwback paint schemes. That's awesome. There's just so many cool designs, and for me, liking history, it's just so cool to see the history of these old paint schemes come back. So that was fun. One of the only race that I really watched the pre-race stuff for is Southern 500. So we get into the actual racing, and it looks like one of those Joe Gibbs kind of dominating races. Kind of just had Martin Truex doing his thing. Denny Hamlin. Well, you did get to throw Chase Elliott in a little bit, which was kind of cool. So, we had that. And Truex won both the first 2 stages. Nothing really too wild happened. We saw, I think Joe Logano get a little bit of damage, but Brad Keselowski hit the wall and ruined his race as well for a while, but they were able to fix it, and he came back and had a decent finish. But nothing too wild there in that race. And then in the last stage, that's when things really start to pick up. And we see, again, it's Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. But we get to a point where Denny Hamlin's going to pit under green. Jimmy Johnson hits him, really messes up Denny Hamlin's chances of getting the win and getting the pit stop, because he had to go. He was slowing way down, and then he got pushed wide. So the push kind of messed up his entry, and he was just kind of, slowed down, but he couldn't make the entry, so he had to go all the way back around, so get up to speed and then slow down again. So that really, really hurt his race. And then we get a caution, which I couldn't tell you what it was for. Oh, debris. We had some debris. We had a big piece of metal floating on the track. So, we have this caution, and it's wild. And we have Chase Elliott right up there. Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick's in it. And you get Chase Elliott, you get Martin Truex going, and they're kind of gone Kevin Harvick sort of lays back, tries to save his tires a little bit. Doesn't let Austin Dillon by, does what he has to do. Martin Truex goes for just some stupid move, and, not surprising. Martin Truex isn't, he races in a way where he wants everybody just to let him go, but he's going to do something stupid to try to win. So he's not one of the drivers that I like, for sure. He complains way too much, I feel. Especially when it comes to lap cars. Like, dude, you were a lap car for years. Get out of here. So, Martin Truex, in this spot, does a stupid move. His spotter says he's not clear. He decides he's going to pull up right into Chase Elliott. And in his interview after the race, he said that he thought Chase Elliott was going to let him go by. It's like, really, dude? He thought he was going to know he's there and just back off a little bit. It's like, dude, there's 15 laps to go. You got to try to, make the pass. And he's flat out goes up, and they both hit the wall. So they both got a pit, which is unfortunate for Chase Elliott. He did nothing wrong in that incident. Second time at Darlington this season, he's got taken out in one of the early races. The second race back from the pandemic break, he got taken out by Kyle Busch, and it wasn't intentional, but neither one of these wrecks were intentional. I don't want it to seem like they did it. They were stupid moves, and it was just unfortunate there. But Kevin Harvick got the lead. Really awesome Busch beer throwback car. Absolutely amazing looking car, and he goes out there and is in the lead with a few laps to go, and is just gonna drive this thing home to win it. And Austin Dillon's getting close. He's within a second here, so it's pretty close. And on that last turn, Harvick went down low, Dillon went up high. It was very, very close. Right to the back bumper there. Kevin Harvick got the win. Second Southern 500 win. I was so excited. Since, I'm a Kevin Harvick fan, I was just, it's always awesome. See your driver win a crown jewel. And I didn't watch the race in 2014. I had taken a few years that I wasn't really watching NASCAR, and I started watching it about, I don't even know, 8-9 races into 2014. So right after the Southern 500 race, I started watching it again, so I didn't get to see him win it back in 2014. Because, I don't know, I stopped watching for probably about 2 years. So I just started watching it again, and I missed that race. So to see him win Southern 500 was so awesome. It was just a really, really cool thing. I don't even know how to explain how excited I was. I was just yes. So to see him win that, get his 8th win of the season, and also advance to the round of 12 in the playoffs is awesome. He had enough points that it really didn't matter, but again, he's going to have 5 more points in the round of 12 and round of 8. So obviously we advanced out of round 12, but there's a solid chance it'll happen. So again, on the round of 12, potentially round of 8, he's going to have these bonus points that really helpful. So it was overall a great day for racing. It's not very often that you get to watch both the F1 race and the Cup Series race, and they're both really, really good. But it was good today. The other good day I'd say that I liked personally was back for the F1 race for the the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, and then for NASCAR, the second Michigan race on the doubleheader weekend. So, the whole Michigan doubleheader weekend was awesome. Kevin Harvick winning both, but to see Max Verstappen and Kevin Harvick both win in the same day, get the Red Bull win in the morning with Max Verstappen, and then get Kevin Harvick to win at Michigan. But that was that was an awesome day. I was so excited. And I also got power back in my house after the storm took it out for a week. So overall, that was a peak day. That's probably one of the best days of 2020, which pretty easy to get this year. But today, awesome race. Pierre Gasly winning the Italian Grand Prix, and sorry about that. And Kevin Harvick winning the Cookout Southern 500. It's awesome. It's been just a wild day for racing. It's been so fun, and I loved it. I loved watching this weekend's racing, and I look forward to whatever races do next weekend. I think there's one more race next weekend than there was this week, because we have, but it's split up differently. We have the Truck Series race on Thursday. I believe Xfinity Series on Friday. Cup Series on Saturday. All at Richmond. I think there's 2 Xfinity races. I don't know which days they are. I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday or Friday, Monday, or Friday, Sunday. I don't know. We have 2 Xfinity races, and then of course we have the Tuscan Grand Prix. Is that the name of it? I think it's the Tuscan Grand Prix. It's the something in Italian. That's a really long name to say for F1. But I'm excited for next weekend's racing as well. But with that, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next one.